me ask that again, please?
Sure. Do you recall saying, the city is worried that its parking enforcement officers will all quit and be irreplaceable?
Sounds somewhat familiar.
Do you recall saying, that's exactly the point?
I don't recall exactly, but I could have.
I'm going to show you a document. I'd like you to read the last sentence on this page.
This is from lawyers.com. Freeman says the city is worried that its parking enforcement officers will all quit and be irreplaceable because no one will want the job, and that's exactly the point. That's not an actual quote, that's interpretation of the author of the article.
Thank you, Your Honor. No more questions.
Further examination?
Ian, you were asked about the space limitation, space distancing in 50 feet, vis-a-vis the activity of putting coins in video. Now, in terms of videotaping, is that also, from your perspective, part of the activity?
It's an important part because it helps hold government employees accountable for their actions.
And what are the, from your perspective, the space considerations vis-a-vis performing effective video?
Well, the closer one can be to record video, the more effective it is. There was some points touched on previously. I could reiterate that, for instance, if you're close to someone, if you're far away from someone, you have to use a zoom function to get a closer shot. And if you're shaking your hands, as mine tend to do, that vibration becomes very, very amplified when you have a zoomed shot. So the best kind of shot is to be relatively close to someone, you know, maybe around 5 feet or so, and you know, have the zoom at its widest pull. And that also prevents people from walking in front of the camera, and also allows you to get better audio.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And one final question. Are you aware that there are devices that you can buy that can eliminate that shaking?
It really doesn't matter. I have no obligation to buy those devices.
There are devices that you could use that would eliminate that shaking.
I don't
So
really
yes
see
or
your
no
point.
question.
Is that a question or a statement? It sounded like a
I
statement.
asked you, you are aware that there are devices that you can buy that will eliminate that shaking?
There are some devices, but I don't know if they will eliminate shaking, and I don't really know if I have any obligation to buy those devices.
Thank you. No more questions, Your Honor.
You may sit down, Mr. Chairman.
Chair, at this point, the arrest case in chief, subject to putting in various documents that we referred to throughout the hearing, and we can do that sort of administrative cleanup that we put at the end in terms of discs and things like
I
that.
mentioned there have been some references to discs of there were some portions of video that were played and where we didn't have discs, things were removed, but subject to that cleanup, absolutely. Attorney Myers, defense prepared to call, it's any witnesses.
Right, I have one witness, Your Honor. But just one thing I would like to do is to, I didn't ask before, but the video that was shown yesterday, showing Mr. Colson being confronted by Mr. Bergman, I'd like to have that later in his defense exhibit.
Is that amazing? Deep, really deep.
Your Honor,
Objection to that?
to that point, I mean, I'm happy to house clean all these matters at the end of this.
I agree. I think just for the record, though, it's helpful to put on the record a specific request.
Because
That's-
I hadn't asked, but you'd like to ask to be admitted. so
Not
one.
not a problem, not a problem.
I don't have any problem with that one coming in, and I would only ask that if I forgot to have something marked as a full exhibit, I have the opportunity to do that. at the
Again, it's
end.
not a jury trial, it's a
No
trial,
problem.
there's no problem with that.
The standing rule is anything posted on the internet is automatically admissible. Your Honor.
That's a joke, that's not.
Yeah. It's not a good joke. Yeah. Although maybe, you know, that courts.
Pretty broad.
Courts of the 21st century or 22nd century, maybe go ahead.
Limits to hours in the day available to review video.
Your Honor, the defendant's call as the first witness, Kate Hager.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're to give this morning is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. If you be seated and state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
My name is Catherine Ager, Kathrynager.
Kate, how old are
I'm 19.
you? And did you participate in Robin Hood activity during a particular time frame?
I did between December 2012 and March 2013.
And during that time frame, approximately how many hours a week?
Maybe 8.
And when you say participate, can you describe what activities you engaged in?
Well, I walked in front of parking enforcers and dropped coins in the parking meters and left cards on people's windshields to let them know they'd been saved from a ticket. Occasionally, I would have a conversation with a parking enforcer, but that's pretty much it.
Did you engage in any videotaping?
Very rarely, only for like a few minutes, a few times. I never published the videos. I deleted them because there wasn't any substance to them.
What was your reason for engaging in Robin Hood activity?
Well, I thought it would be a good way to, first of all, help people in the community, save them from parking tickets. I've never met someone who was happy to get a parking ticket. I also thought it would be a good way to open up the floor to discussion with people that I might not have otherwise interacted with, so I could share my ideas with them.
Now, you said you stopped doing it in March. What was the reason that you stopped?
Well, I stopped Robin Hooding in March because after my mom died, I decided that I wanted to focus my efforts elsewhere. I wanted to raise money for the Last Mile Ride and end-of-life care support program. So I focused my efforts there.
You said that one of the reasons for the Robin Hooding was to engage in communication with the parking enforcement officers. Did you ever engage any type of derogatory language to the parking enforcement officers?
No, I didn't, but just to clarify, it wasn't to engage specifically with the parking enforcement officers. I thought that it would open up the floor to engaging with other members of the community, which it did, where they would ask me about what I was doing or why. I didn't really have a whole lot of interest in speaking with parking enforcers unless they wanted to.
Did you have any type of physical contact with parking enforcement officers?
No.
Were you ever told by any of them to maintain a greater distance, physical distance from them?
I was never told a specific distance to stay away from them. There was one instance where James said that it's fine if I walk ahead and put coins in the meters, but she would appreciate if I don't interfere with her job. I said that I always try to avoid that, and there was no further comment on it ever, so I don't believe that I actually did interfere or get in anybody's personal space.
Thank you. No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Two very brief questions. Ms. Ager, sounds like you were able to fill the meters and accomplish your goals without talking with the parking enforcement officers. Is that correct?
Yes?
Did you see the video yesterday that we showed where Grant Coulson was following Alan Gibbons around?
Can you be more specific? please?
We watched the video in the morning.
I
And it
watched
was
this on video. The 20-minute video?
the 20-minute video.
Yes, I saw that video.
Did you see how Graham was behind Alan on a regular basis?
I didn't really note that, but that video, I guess it appeared that he was behind him some of the time.
You didn't have the opportunity to see a video that we watched up at the stand here earlier this morning, but there was some description about it. And the video was one that Garrett Ian showed, in which he described that he was walking behind Alan Givitz. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Did you ever walk behind the parking enforcement officers?
There are times that I've been behind them, but never like directly behind them. I've been walking down the road and I'll see them up ahead of me, and at some point I'll move so that I get in front of them without, you know, bumping into them or getting in their space as I pass.
So is it fair to say that you walked in front of them because that's how you would fill the meters?
It's fair to say that I walked in front of them as often as I could. There are times that I walked beside one when I was having a conversation, but I tried to stay in front of them, yes.
No more questions, no?
Further examination.
No further questions.
Makes it happen. Any additional examination? No? No. I think one of your clients wants to confer with you.
Your Honor, no, we have no further witnesses.
Further witnesses for
No,
the city?
sir.
Okay, we're happy to have argument right now. if
I
there's-
would personally prefer, I think the court said it would be in session or something else, 12 to 2. Would it be possible, like, to do the argument at 2, that would give us a chance to prepare for it?
Any objection to that request?
Fine.
We'll recess now, we'll reconvene at 2 o'clock for oral argument on the pending motion. Thank you.
All rise, please.
Oh, okay. Okay. You should really wear personal boundaries shirts, sir. You just touched her with your shoulder. If one of us did that to you, we'd be arrested on the internet.
I'm done.
Of course, you have nothing to say to that.
Yep. Till 2. Got Brett working here too.
Okay, can you give that to Garrett?
Okay,
You mind? You just want to.
okay.
Blank CD for the permit.
Okay, well, I'm probably gonna grab some of you, just getting ready.
Okay, where you going?
There's more practice. I'll bring this for this part material.
Lucas, yeah, that one's pretty quick.
I mean, I'm happy to go with you.
I was thinking about Timoleons. Little family diner called Timoleons.
I'm a vegetarian. So they-
Are you? Okay.
Um,
If you want me to
No,
tag along with you.
I'm almost, I'm happy after company.